Hello my beautiful friends, welcome. Anna Alchemist of the Arts here, and we're going to do a week ahead energy update for the week beginning Monday the 19th of February 2024. So we have a full moon on the 24th, which for me personally is an important date because it's the date that I have chosen for my own Disablot practice. And if you're unfamiliar, Disablot is something in the Germanic tradition, Nordic pagan tradition, which honours the Dis or the Disir, which would be the female ancestors. And I think that can mean something for all of us at an individual level, regardless of our personal connection to our known female ancestors. But the female ancestors going back to time immemorial. For me, it's very, very important, and I remember with great fondness my grandmothers, my mother, my sisters, my daughters. I'm surrounded by beautiful, incredible women. And I remember the privilege of my situation and the time in which we live right now. And that for me reminds me that I have a great deal of power and opportunities that they never had in order to do things, to work toward things, to make choices, and to create what it is that I wish to create within my life and just in general. I can create what I want. So it's a very important time for me to remember just how hard they would have worked. And if you're on my Instagram, I wrote some poetry connected to this yesterday, but it's been something that's been heavily on my mind all month, and like I said, I've just chosen to observe it on the full moon on the 24th. Now, leading up to this full moon, in a more general sense, I think many of us could feel like it is a great time of sorting out, on reflecting what it is that we want to create moving forwards as we enter into the spring in the Northern Hemisphere. And while spring can be a metaphor within our lives, for me personally, in sunny old England, I'm happy to say it's been quite sunny today. The spring is such a welcome shift in energy, in weather. We haven't had a particularly harsh winter, and I know, other countries in the Northern Hemisphere have it far worse than we do. But it's always a wonderful feeling when you see nature starting to come back to life again. And I think many of us could be feeling quite similar and regaining some energy, regaining some sense of ability to move forwards now in different ways. And that can mean time for sorting out, time for clearing out, time for getting rid of things. It could mean feeling empowered to make changes. I'm getting really big Sovilo rune energy. And also recognizing the wheels that we've already put in motion, that blessing, that seed of Evas that we've already planted, the things that will be germinating under the soil, ready to emerge at the right time. So for many of us, there could be this really strong theme of getting things sorted, getting things cleaned up, and there could be things that you decide that it's time to cut off, to clear out, to get rid of. And I think as well, when it comes to sacred objects, to sacred practices, to some of the things that we do, it's okay to outgrow certain things. It's okay to decide that you don't want certain objects in your life anymore, whether they are spiritual or not, whether they were once vitally important to your practice. It's very important to clear our space, not just physically, but energetically as well. And when certain things have been around for a long time, or perhaps through a particular experience, not only can they be an emotional cue and trigger to certain events, but they can also hold on to that energy. So it's really good sometimes to clear out, to have a refresh, and to really redefine what it is that you want to bring into your space, the intentions you're calling in, either just through thought-based practices or through literal rituals or meditation, different crafts, whatever it is that you do personally. Whatever it is that you're doing, do it with intention. And in order to really get clear on that intention, decide what it is that you want, decide what it is that you want to experience or how you want to experience, and what it is that you don't want to experience. So you might find, writing this down is sometimes really helpful, and then deciding what no longer aligns within your life, within your space, or within your practices that you're ready to get rid of. And I find that actually doing this and committing it to paper sometimes in, it's quite Virgo energy, quite a logical sense, it can be really positive to just do that, and it connects to this full moon. So it can be really good to have that clear out in order so that we can call in that new energy with fresh intention, and to really work with, I just keep getting working with the water in our local areas, within our local spaces. So whatever that means for you, if you are near a body of water, if it could just be the Laguz rune, it could be certain practices. So I'm thinking this, I'm feeling this and seeing this as I say it to you, as I channel this message. You know, it could be certain practices that you do with water, whether that's water you consume, water that you bathe in, water that you use in particular practices. I'm, to give you an example, quite specific about the water that I use with my paints, and certain other applications, certain teas that I make that might be used in a ceremonial sense or in my own personal practices. It's little things like that. It's being very conscious of those waters and how they make you feel, how they work for you, and how that you can use them as well. But again, that connects us to the Laguz rune, which is all about cleansing and flow, gentle power, movement forwards, even when it might seem like there isn't masses of movement forwards. It's a reminder that a continued, consistent effort will yield the results that you want to yield. Okay, so I'm going to get some runes, and let's see what comes through for this week. Two that want to come out. This one needs to come first. I love. We have Fehu. Fehu would be connecting to our wealth, our worth. This can be financial wealth, and I'm really getting for many of us, as we start thinking about our dreams, goals, ambitions, our vision for the future, and how indeed we shape that. This could be a very big consideration, and it's important to recognize that with every single one of the runes, when we apply them to our life specifically, we could be looking at where we feel this absence in our life. So in a worth sense, where do you feel like you're not receiving your worth, or where do you feel like your self-worth is called into question? And this can be within us. Do we not value our own selves in particular situations? Do we question our worth around other people or in certain environments? Maybe we don't feel like we're being remunerated for the work that we are doing, or we're not being valued for the work that we're doing. And this is the point at which we begin to have those clear outs and decide to make those changes, because we recognize our inherent worth and value on a level, at any level, and decide that that's where we need to make a change. So it's seeing where we have this sense of worth and value and wealth within our lives, and where that might feel absent, and where we need to work towards making changes in order to shift more towards that, the value and the wealth and the worth that we want to feel or experience within our lives. So definitely when it comes to I'm just getting some changes as well, so it could be a really good time talking about clear outs, to go through bills, to go through budgets, to go through where money goes out and where money is coming in, and again just to clean up all those details. Like I said, it's all this really strong Virgo energy, so there could be some changes that you want to make in that respect as well. And just make sure, because for some of you I'm guessing that you might get a really like a rebate or a refund of some kind, but for others it feels more like there is money going out that you'd kind of forgotten about, perhaps direct debits that maybe need to be cancelled now, things like that, that could actually now flow back to you and increase your abundance, but it just requires a bit of your attention, if that makes sense. And the other one that came out with it, we have answers. This is really tuning in to that higher sense of self and the spiritual self, the really connecting with the higher wisdom that is coming down to you, whether that is through your own personal practices, connecting to your gods, guides, guardians, angels, ancestors, whoever it is for you, and asking them, what is it I'm supposed to be doing? Because with these two coming out together, there could be questions about the kind of work that we are doing in order to receive a wage, or where we perceive our value, And this is asking us to look at the spiritual side of this as well, our spiritual side of where we find our worth and our wealth. But also for many of us, there could be the sense of higher purpose that is calling to us now, and that we might feel like we want to shift towards. So I would very, very strongly, if you feel like there are these changes that you want to make and you're not entirely sure how to make them, tune into yourself, tune into your higher self, go into your own meditation practices, your trance practices, whatever it is, and try and ask for that guidance. Ask for that guidance, ask for that inspiration, put it out there, and receive that wisdom, because it's going to help you to shift forwards. I'm really getting like pine wood is really important to somebody. Ooh, we have Evas. Evas is beautiful because this is the rune of partnerships, of connections, of the symbiosis of two specific groups or entities or individuals that come together and have a joint or partnered effort in order to create a together experience. I've explained that in a really difficult way. And now my ear is ringing, which is always like I'm getting loads of crazy messages. This is asking us who we're partnered with, and it could be that there are really important partnerships and opportunities on the horizon now. So definitely with this coming out with the previous message, there could be new opportunities for work, and this could be really, really powerful and really, really positive. This also can speak of who we ally to and the causes that we want to support, the ways in which we want to show up for other people, and to support other people's ventures perhaps. So anything connected to these themes, again, because of the earlier messages that I've been getting, there is this lovely clearing out energy connected to all of these runes this week. So this might be that there are partnerships and connections and people that you have been supporting or allied to that you no longer feel like you want to do, and this could be investments as well. So it could be that there are some things that you want to reconsider, but more importantly, I do really feel like there are new things coming on the horizon, and these could be, it's like an invitation. I really feel like for some of you, this is a powerful invitation that feels like a level up, a step forwards, that's going to be really, really positive. But again, I'm not being allowed to stop that rune. I'm not being allowed to get away from the Evas rune until I reiterate that for some of us, it might be time to really review certain connections and relationships and decide their value or their importance. And it's not that they're not important to us, but perhaps that the investment that we've been giving is too high, and it's time to pull back a bit. We need to pull some of our energy or some of our resources, whether that is time, money, or just emotional energy. It's time to call some of that back a bit and not invest it so much in that, because something new is going to come forwards and you're going to need to be freed up and released in order to move in that direction. Okay, and final rune. Ooh, we have Kenaz, and it's come out in this position. This again is saying to me that there is another path, and this feels like a path that we haven't perhaps seen. Kenaz is another one of these runes, a bit like Patre, that for me can be read in every single place around the clock. To me, this is talking about opening up to a higher pathway, perhaps one that we haven't considered yet. So with these new opportunities coming forward, and like I said, I really got a strong sense that perhaps there is an invitation of some kind. Obviously this won't be for everybody, but within our own ways. Perhaps this is a sense of when we review our wealth and our worth, that we give ourselves permission to do something different. And this is that alternate pathway. This is finding that other pathway, and it comes from that higher concept, that higher wisdom, that higher intelligence, that higher self, whatever you want to call it, that opens up new possibilities within our mind, new potential. And this could come through with a different invitation or perhaps a suggestion. And somebody suggests something to you and you go, actually, why can't I do that? Why can't I? And it feels like there are things that shift now. And where there may have been blockages or where there may have been no's, there is a path being opened. And there is a path that's being opened and revealed to you that you are going to be able to walk along. And it's going to feel much more aligned than things have felt in the past. But it feels like you may have to pause for a second and just think, or really feel into your body, or to go into that meditation. For some, I'm really getting to be around a body of water because that came through at the beginning, and really just allow yourself, and again, I'm just going to say this because not everybody lives around an open body of water or, you know, live running water or the ocean. Sometimes standing in the shower and really having a conscious, intention-based moment where you say, okay, I'm really opening up, I'm working with the energy of the water, and I'm really opening up to receive wisdom, to receive guidance. Invoke a specific deity, invoke a specific ancestor that you knew well, that you would trust and would want to work with, and ask them for guidance. You know, and in that moment, in that space, you'll be amazed at the kinds of messages that come through, or it could be the bath, you know, whatever it is for you. But it really feels like there is going to be a lot that shifts and a lot that moves us forwards this week. And again, I'll always say, these are energies that begin like catalysts, and we have these opportunities every single week. This is why I do these readings. This is why I do these energy messages. You might feel that some things call to you more deeply than others. You might feel that sometimes that none of it relates to you, and that's absolutely okay. But there are opportunities within every single week for us to take those steps forwards, to build that momentum, to create those micro changes that actually, when you look at them over the course of a year, really can shift your direction. They just push the needle ever so slightly, and you just keep moving forwards. So it feels like this is going to be one of those weeks, and opening up to the help of community, opening up to the help of others, and allowing other people to help you could be a really important theme as well. So I'm going to wrap this up. I really appreciate you taking the time to listen to this. I hope it assisted you. If you've enjoyed this, feel free to like, share, subscribe. I love doing these. They're just something that I do for the love, and for the people that they help. So I hope you have a great week, and I will see you later.